shot.
What's going on, nation? Let's talk some more Raiders free agency. Salute to everyone. I hope you guys are having a happy Wednesday. Shout out to everybody. There is news coming out, and I just wanted to give my thoughts on it, and then also preview a little bit of some free agency. Really, and discuss some top news. Really, it's been, a really short week, really for me, regarding like Raiders news. Really been quiet. Other than I did want to talk about Patrick Graham becoming the head coach. He is going to be coaching the Senior Bowl, and really excited for that. Patrick Graham is going to really scout these young guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm really looking forward to how, really to that game and really to what Patrick Graham is going to see in these guys. He's going to have practices with these young guys. He's going to have, really live game film on, really the young guys coming into the draft. So really, really intrigued by that. But I wanted to really look into our free agency because I think our free agency is going to determine what the Raiders do in the draft. Now, of course, we have we even with the free agency period, we don't know what the Raiders will do. Really, depending on what the really the Derek Carr situation, what comes out of that. If we trade him, what draft capital are we going to get? And if we don't trade him, then we just get no draft capital and we just free up money. Either way, it's a win-win. But we're going to see what are the Raiders going to do in free agency and what are some people, what are some positions they really need to attack in the free agency period. But first, shout out to Robert Pena and shout out to the boy Domenis, always showing love and support for the channel. Really, thank you guys for that. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the free agency period real quick. Of course, the name that everyone is talking about right now is Tom Brady. And right now, shout out to my guy. It's not Raiders Primos without Natural Nate or Raider Nate, whatever you want to call it. He called him the young senior. I don't know why you're not a senior. But how you doing, Nate?
I'm a young senior, you know what I'm saying? No, it's fine. Doing pretty good. Just got back from having some outdoor activities. Just had to do my daily outdoor activities, just mowing lawns and stuff. But yeah, today's been pretty good. How about you?
It's going good. Just got home from work. Getting the news about Patrick Graham, and then really, just seeing some stuff, on with the Raiders news about Tom Brady. People wanting to see like talking about Lamar Jackson. Really talking free agency. I love that. I love we're talking free agency, but the Tom Brady and Lamar Jackson talk, and even the Aaron Rodgers talk, I wanted to really talk about that. Talk about maybe some defensive help we could look at. Talk about some offensive line help we can even look at, and then maybe do a little preview. You know what, Nate? You down for a little mock draft? After we do that,
Yeah,
after we preview, let's do a mock draft. I'm gonna pull it up, and then
that would be kind of fun because half of the people I would just draft because I don't know. I would just like their name, and then what if we look them up? You guys might know them, so they might.
I know a little bit. I still gotta do some homework on some more late round guys. For the third and fourth round, I'm kind of seeing where I want to go with that. But for the fifth, sixth, and seventh, I really got to do a little bit more really homework on that because I don't know. I'm like really conflicted on positions because I feel we need a wide receiver too. We need a speed wide receiver too. And I'm like, who is going to be available in the fifth, sixth, seventh round?
What's up, chat?
I seen someone's mock draft. They took a wide receiver in the first round. With our seventh overall pick, they took a wide receiver. And I'm like, I hear you. I see
A
why,
wide
but
receiver in the fifth? Okay.
number seventh overall is either going to be a quarterback, offensive tackle, or a defensive tackle. It's out of those three.
Yeah.
If not a defensive tackle, the
Anybody on
running
the
back is one.
defense, low key.
But it got it for me. That seventh pick got to be defense. But real quick,
Yeah.
guys. So I want to bring. So we're gonna talk Tom Brady real quick. Let's talk some Tom Brady.
TB12?
I am
I
gonna
bet.
bring up his stats, guys, from not only this season, but the stats against the Cowboys because they were not great. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up real quick, you guys, because Bucks got absolutely destroyed against the Cowboys. But I have to say this:
Okay.
the Bucks had no run game, their offensive line is trash, and wide receivers are dropping passes.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom Brady's stats of that game was 35 for 66 pass attempts, man. 66 pass attempts
Hey,
to
bro.
12 carries as a team. 12
That's
carries as a team.
that's a
They
pocket
rushed
passer for you.
2 yards. Brady threw for 351 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked 2 times, and had a quarterback rating of 24.1 and a pass rating of 72.2. I mean,
That's a pocket passer for you, bro. 66
yeah,
attempts.
and that's my downside though, Nate. That's my downside to us getting Tom Brady. He's a pocket passer. I do trust McDaniels and Ziegler to fix this offensive line, but Tom Brady cannot move. He is 40, gonna be 46, 47. I don't. This dude's like a 500, like a dinosaur. He is a dinosaur in the NFL. He's not going to be moving really at all. If we're being honest, he is going to be a statue back there. And
But
even I was even say even with if we had Derek Carr, you still had to build that offensive line because Derek Carr was a statue. So whether you get Brady, it's going to be the same thing. He's not going to move. You need to build that offensive line. Even if we get a mobile quarterback, you build that offensive line. You need to build that offensive line. Give a quarterback time to make throws. Josh Jacobs was running like crazy, so the offensive line for really can do run blocking. It was the pass blocking where it's like, bro, y'all can't pass block for shit. Illuminor was getting
yeah,
ate up. Parham was showing that he was a rookie, still learning, having some growing pains. And Bars was showing why he should never be on a starting squad ever. Like, let's be honest.
yeah.
So I mean, where are you at with the Brady rumors? I mean, we know. I mean, I feel like we know where you stand, but pros and cons. I would say this, Nate. Give me the pros and cons of if Tom Brady were to come to the Raiders.
Pros and cons. All right. So it's pretty interesting because the pros and cons actually could happen in the same situation. See, if we okay, so here we go. Here's some of the pros. We sign Brady for cheap. He gives us money for the defense. We use that money for the defense. Uh, he takes us deep in the playoffs, quote unquote, and we win something. Let's just say I don't know something in our eyes, which I don't know anything less than a Super Bowl to me is kind of sucky, but a Super Bowl,
Hey, I'll
okay, so
take
that's all
playoff.
the
I'll
pros.
take playoff appearance. I'll take
Yeah.
playoff appearance.
All right, so let's go playoff appearance and Super Bowl obviously. So those are the pros, and then he leaves, and then our drafted quarterback would finally have like probably like the best vision behind the greatest quarterback who ever lived, and that's where it all starts from there on. Um, bad, bad. Brady comes and he plays like he can't do nothing. He just he oofs, and we waste some money. Uh, maybe still making the defense stronger, depending if you still take a pay cut, whether he does bad or good. And we kind of waste a year. But and then I just hope that we whether it's in the early rounds, which I hope it's not, or in the later rounds, middle rounds, that we get a quarterback. I want a
We're gonna,
quarterback in the draft.
and we'll talk about that too. We're gonna talk about that. Teddy Pacheco, sup cousins? Can I get a shout out? Yes, Teddy is our cousins, and I will say this: the Niners suck.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but they're
The
gonna just.
Niners are garbage, and I hope you guys get. You know what? And this is tough. What's tough is because our other cousin, his sister, likes the Cowboys,
Ooh, I
and
just
and
realized
it's
that.
like I want both of them to lose, just because
Ha-
I just want to be like, hey, at the end of the day, y'all are like us. Y'all sitting at home watching someone else play the Super
hey,
Bowl.
hey,
Hey, how about this?
I would.
The
I,
Niners get beat by the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys just get destroyed by the Eagles. I would love that.
hey, for me, it would be better for the Niners to lose because we could just like if we get in a talk battle versus the Cowboys, we just mentioned last Thanksgiving, and that's it.
Yeah. Hey, cousin, we ain't gonna talk about the Niners, bro. We're not gonna talk about the Niners. We're talking about Raiders football over here. We
Oh,
not no
jeez.
Niners primo. We Raiders primos. We don't talk about the Niners. We just say that they suck. Shout out to Demenis. I don't like Brady, but I'm about to shield. So I'll support whoever the quarterback is. And Demenis, that's where I am. If Brady is here, okay, Brady's here. But what worries, like I said, what worries me is his pop, his age. He can't move. He cannot move. And you got to like Ziegler. If you are gonna go get Brady, you got to like show us fans that you are working to build a offensive line that Brady can stay upright. Because if Brady is getting hit over and over and over again, bro, I'm telling you, this boy needs to be in a senior citizen home. We is going to put this man in retirement if we don't fix this offensive line. I'm telling you, Nate, by mid-season, Brady will not make it. Like, you gonna have to like register him into one of those senior citizen homes.
Weak.
Like, if our offensive line ain't fixed. Now, Teddy says Aaron Rod. Now, Nate, we haven't talked a lot of A-Rod talk. We haven't. And
Well,
here's why
there's
I
yeah,
haven't been
there's a
on the
reason.
Aaron Rodgers train. There's a reason why because we're not going to entertain it. Because I want people to understand this. I not need, because I want people to have their own opinion. I want them to feel comfortable to have their own opinion in here. You guys can have your own opinion. But let's be honest, guys. Aaron Rodgers wants $50 million a year. The Packers will give up Aaron Rodgers, but then they're not going to give him up. Let me explain that. They'll give him up because of that money, because of that $50 million. But the dead cap hit is going to hit them in the ass, and they already are getting hit with the Adams contract in dead cap. So they're going to have to take on two contracts for players that are not even playing with them anymore. So they're not going to do that. And then on top of that, they're going to be asking for probably a lot of draft capital for Aaron Rodgers. And I just don't think Ziegler's that type of guy that's going to be like, okay, I'm not going to give up my first and my second again when I have about like 13 picks in this year's draft. I have a defense that I need to upgrade, and I have an offensive line that I need to upgrade. Yeah, I can go get Aaron Rodgers, but what is that going to cost me? It's going to cost you draft
Ooh,
capital, and it's going to cost you $50 million in the cap.
we're gonna have to give up 2 arms and half of the franchise for Rodgers, dog.
It's the same thing I said about the Lamar Jackson talk, Nate. I said if the Raiders are really considering to get Lamar Jackson, I'm gonna look at our Raiders organization and I'm gonna be like, what the hell are y'all thinking? The whole reason I was on like I wanted Derek Carr gone was not just his play. It was his play, and like I said, like we talked yesterday about the article, it was just time to move on. It was time to cut ties. But for me, the main thing was the contract. Is that Derek Carr was going to get paid 34 million and then like 38 million after that, starting to earn $40 million. And I just
Yep.
felt our defense was just so in trouble, and we had no money to give the defense that we were going to have a shit defense for years to come. Now,
Yeah.
with Carr, projected to be gone, you free up about $30 million in the cap. You're going to have about $66 million going into the offseason. You have money to upgrade that defense. We have been screaming for a better defense, but the Raiders have not done anything to help this defense. They couldn't draft for shit, and they had no money to give that defense. So Josh McDaniels and Ziegler were like, we're going to do the next best thing. We're going to try to upgrade our offense and hope to God that our offense outscores the opposing opponent. But we've seen this season, surprisingly, the defense played better than they were paid to do. Let's be honest. Given the players that they were given on that defense, they did not. They probably played better.
They were playing
Not
like if
saying that
they
they
had
played great. Not saying that they played great, but they played better than expected. The
they were
offense, on the other
yeah.
hand, totally just shit the bed this season. Totally just shit the bed this season. I mean, what were you saying, Nate? Go ahead.
They were just simply playing like they were paid more than the offense was, but it was just the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I'm trying to get at is that if we can't look at this from a stat, because really, if I'm being honest, I throw away the stats. Don't get me wrong. Derek Carr stats, they look good on paper. Adam stats, they look great on paper. Jacob stats look great on paper. But let's dissect the film. Let's dissect the play. The Raiders were up against the Rams, up 16-3. It was starting to get late in the fourth quarter. Let's be honest. Did us Raider fans feel comfortable throughout the entire game? Not just late in the fourth quarter, but throughout the entire game. Were we comfortable with the 16-3 lead? I'll be honest, and I said I wasn't. And I was getting frustrated that our offense was not scoring as much as they should have been scoring. And then, don't get me wrong, me and Nate killed the fucking defense for letting that game get out of hand late in the fourth quarter, giving it up. But why put the defense in that position as an offense? That's what I'm saying. Just Josh McDaniels, Derek Carr, Adam, like the leaders of that offense, Jacobs. Like, why are you guys not voicing your opinion? And like, man, we suck today.
Yeah, I would be if I was on that Raiders defense. Boy, I would be. Yeah, bro, I would
3
be having
points, Nate. 3 points for 57 minutes, and you guys end up losing the game because the offense just could not do shit.
I would be yelling people. I would be yelling at people in the locker room. Not even gonna lie.
And then you welcome home the Indianapolis, or not the Indianapolis Colts. This is weeks prior. But let's talk about even the Patriots game. I was there live. We go into halftime 17, I believe it was like 17-7. 17-7, 17, something around that, 17-3, something around there, around that score. And me and my dad looked at each other and we're like, that's all we're going to score. That's all we're going to score.
That's so sad.
And it looked to be, in that game, it looked to be that I was coming to fruition, because then the Patriots come back. Really what I'm trying to get at, guys, is that this defense is not, for me, the defense was not as bad as people made it to be. Like, were they trash? No, trash is the Detroit Lions defense before they went on that run. Mm-hmm. Trash is the Vikings defense. Trash, bro, let me actually pull it up. Let me pull up the defensive rankings. Because I know the thing is, I know the Raiders are not the 32nd ranked defense.
Who do you think? Just take a guess. Who's the worst?
That title.
Take a guess. Take a guess.
I wouldn't even have thought about it. But that title goes to the Chicago Bears.
I was gonna say the Bears.
Oh. That title goes to the Chicago Bears. The Bears are the worst defense. The Cardinals, terrible defense. The Colts, terrible defense. The Raiders were only a terrible defense stat-wise because they couldn't get turnovers and they couldn't get sacks. Point-wise, points against, the Raiders were like in the middle of the pack, like 15, 16, around there. They were like in the middle of the pack. Yeah. Giving up, I believe they were giving up like 23 points a game, or 25, roughly around there. I expected that, Nate. I expected our defense to be the way it was this season. I'll say that. What I did not expect is that our offense was going to be the shit show that it was.
Yeah, I thought our offense was going
to be
like top 3, top 5.
The thing is, and Cousin Teddy can even probably vouch for us. We said that our offense was likely going to be top 5. Our offense was going to be the reason that we go to the playoffs. Our offense was going to be the reason why we win a lot of games. We did not say shit about our defense ever being good when we were previewing the season. So now, when I look at it now, there's going to be a lot of names that come in and out of the Raiders defense. But for me, the Raiders defense, all they need to do, Patrick Graham, you need to go get guys that's going to get you sacks and that's going to get you turnovers.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. We need sacks and we need turnovers because we got a defense that can hold. I mean, the Niners offense was coming in, scoring on everybody, putting up like 38
Bro,
plus points.
the Niners defense is scoring more than most like offenses alone, bro. It's
And
crazy.
for the Raiders defense to hold the Niners to only, I believe it was what, 30, 37 points. For me, that was a plus. And the thing is, the Raiders defense gave opportunities to the Raiders offense to capitalize. That's been the story of this season. The Raiders defense has always gave the Raiders offense a chance to capitalize. And what would the Raiders offense do? They would shit the bed. So for me, you go get a Daron Payne because I want to keep it on the free agency talk. You go get a Daron Payne. I've been watching film, bro. That man is a game wrecker. Up the middle, you fix that interior defensive line. You pair him with Chandler Jones. You pair him with Max Crosby. Bro, your defensive line for me, that's set because you still got young guys in Matthew Butler and Neil Farrell Jr. who can learn from Daron Payne. And Daron Payne is still a young guy. He's only 25 years old. I would really invest because the thing is this. I also talked about the offense defense because we invested in offense I don't know how many times. And it's always bit the Raiders in the ass. I don't remember a time we really invested in our defense. I don't remember that. Go
We
invest in your
only
defense and go invest in your defensive line.
It's like we only like take nits and bits at our defense in the draft, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Shout out to Giovanni. Yes, Giovanni. This is hold on. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my chair. Giovanni, this is the reason why I'm saying no to Rodgers. It just doesn't make sense. Like, could you get him? You could get him. But then we're going to be in this conversation next season, Giovanni. Our defense is trash. Our offensive line is trash. Because you know what you're going to have? You're going to have a bunch of rookies starting on the offensive line, starting in the defense. Why? Because you can't go out and get guys in free agency because you're paying Aaron Rodgers too much money. That's why I say it. Teddy says, I hate to say this, but Jimmy G might have some action in Las Vegas. I will say this, Teddy, and this is coming from a Raider fan, and I know you supported your boy Jimmy G with the Niners. If maybe you
I
could
do
agree
not.
with
I
me on
do.
this. Injury prone, bro. Injury prone. If you get Jimmy G, you gotta keep Stidham. You gotta bring Stidham back.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust Jimmy G. Like, it's not even the fact maybe our offensive line gets better or not. It's the fact, bro, this man could literally get touched by air and end up on the IR.
He's like border. He's so like he's. I don't know how
You gotta put bubble
similar
wrap
he is.
on this boy. You got like
He's just
literally.
like Carr, kinda.
You gotta put no. I will say this: Derek Carr,
No, the fragile part. The
in
fragile
that
part.
aspect, Derek Carr will still play through injury. Jimmy G won't.
Well, I thought you were just talking about like you just. I mean, he just goes
No,
down
don't give me.
after a
Okay, I'll
touch.
say this with the Jimmy G talk. I will say I will bring in Jimmy Garoppolo because he knows Josh McDaniel's system. He's proven that he can win ball games, but he's proven something to me. Here's the thing: we got to remember what the Niners are. People got to remember what the Niners are. The Niners are already built as a championship team. They got a great defense, and I'm trying to be as unbiased here. It hates for me. I hate saying that, but the Niners got a great defense. They got
Yeah, they have
a
an awesome
great.
defense.
They got a great offense too. You got Christian. I mean, Christian McCaffrey wasn't there, so really take him out of the conversation. But they had a really good O line, probably one of the best O line in the league.
Hmm.
They got Debo Samuel, George Kittle. Bro, Brandon Ayuk is probably one of the most underrated receivers in the league. I will say that. And guys, I'm putting my football cap on. I'm not I don't want to show any biasness. I hate the Niners, bro. I hate the Niners with everything in my but coming from a football fan, Brandon Ayuk is probably one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. Jimmy Garoppolo had help. Not saying he won't have help coming to the Raiders, but would he have to do a little bit more than he would the Niners? Because remember, that defense was dangerous. Dangerous. I apologize for the noise in the background. I got my brother in the room with me.
You good?
But like I said, will Jimmy Garoppolo have to do more? Because I'm not saying this defense is one offseason, this defense can go from being at the bottom of the rankings to immediately a top ranked defense. I'm looking at this defense that they can maybe be 18, 17 ranked, and they're probably going to get maybe averaging 24 points, allowing a game 25. They might be still allowing a lot of people to score. Do you feel comfortable, Jimmy G, like throwing for 3 touchdowns, throwing for 4 touchdowns? Like, we got to think about it like that. I I'm just
Nah,
I'm in between with Jimmy Garoppolo because the injuries. He had a lot of help in San Francisco. I mean, I think there
I
was a stat where
personally
he
I
won
don't.
10 games without throwing a touchdown. Like, bro, we ain't got a defense like that. We don't. We don't have a defense that's gonna hold teams where you don't have like you could win a football game with throwing no touchdowns. We don't have a defense like that.
I don't personally. I don't. I don't feel like I would feel comfortable with bringing in Jimmy.
But to Teddy's point, this is the other pro. This is a pro. He's already been in McDaniel's system, and we could probably get him for cheap. That's a plus. If the now I would say this: if the Brady deal doesn't fall through, could they go to Jimmy G? They likely probably would. But I don't. I want to. For me personally, I want to see what Stidham got. I'm gonna put it out there. I want to see what Stidham got. I want to see Stidham start the 2023 season. Not saying I believe in him. I just want to see what he can bring to the table. Because what I really want to see, do I want to see the Raiders succeed, make the playoffs? Yes, I do. Do I think Stidham gives us the best option? No, I don't. But here's what I expect. I expect the Raiders to have a competent defense and a competent O line enough that Stidham, if he could do what he did against the Niners that first game,
Who could
then
imagine what he could do
yeah,
against any other
give him a
defense?
competent defense, give him an offensive line, and if Stidham could, do what he did against the Niners and learn from his mistakes in these 2 games that he played, who knows what he could do?
Yeah,
Like that's I'm not saying he's Brady, but Brady needed a shot to beat Brady. Aaron Rodgers needed a shot to beat Aaron Rodgers. Patrick Mahomes needed a shot to beat Patrick Mahomes. Drew Brees needed a shot to beat Drew Brees. Sometimes all you got to do is give a guy a shot and see what he can do. Like that's where I'm at. I just would love to see Stidham get a shot.
that's
And I
facts.
know a lot of people be like, well, Stidham didn't beat out Cam Newton or Mac Jones. The job was given to Cam Newton. The job was given to Mac Jones. Stidham was never given a fair shot with the Patriots. And I would love if the Raiders can give him a shot here. And I will say this, give him a shot if there's no other answer. I'll say that. If the Brady deal doesn't fall through and you don't feel comfortable go get Jimmy G and you just feel there's not another answer, then you go with Jared Stidham.
Yeah,
Now,
I would. Yeah,
I will say this, Nate, not for the long run. You still go draft a quarterback. You
yeah.
have a
None
rookie
of these.
quarterback under Stidham.
Yeah, yeah. None of these guys that we're mentioning, Brady, Rogers, Jimmy G, any of these guys, we're not talking about them to have them for like uh 5 plus years or things like that. We're like what our main goal is to have somebody just to be there for 2+ years and
Yeah,
let our hopefully future head coach drafted QB. Not why did I say head coach? A drafted QB just take the long run from there.
yeah,
But that's why I feel like Brady, because who's better to do that? Who's better to be a bridge quarterback than Brady? I don't know.
yeah. 2 points from Teddy. He says, "Get rid of Chandler Jones. He was a bust, overpaid." I would say don't cut him, but Ziegler, you got to restructure that contract. We're paying him close to, I think, I don't even know his contract, but I know we are not getting anything from that contract. Let me see, Chandler Jones, and he's only got, I think, four. He only got 4.5. He only got 4.5 sacks on the season. His contract with the Las Vegas Raiders, he has a $7 million cap hit, 32 million in dead cap. He's then gonna make $19 million next year, and then another 19 the year after that. Bro,
Yeah.
you better restructure. He does not deserve that $19 million next year.
Mm-mm.
I would bring him down. I would like free up maybe $7 million, and he can get $12 million next season.
Shoot, that's too expensive for me. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, you got to restructure him somehow. Maybe even 10, maybe 9. Go. I mean, bro, 4.5 sacks for almost $32 million in debt, bro. No, no. And then Teddy also said this: the thing is with the Raiders defense, they draft defense, but then they cut them within the year. I'm still hurt by the Mac trade, bro. Like I know they didn't cut him, but like
Hey, the some Mac
Khalil
stuff.
Mack was probably the one guy on the defense side of the ball that the Raiders like they hit. That was a hit for years to
Yeah,
come.
that was our gold and diamond right there.
Like
Low
that was a
key,
guy you could build the defense around.
that's
Now,
facts.
yeah, now to Nate's point, there is rumors speculating that the Chargers are in like serious. They got to fix their cap,
Yeah,
and Khalil Mack it could be released. Could be. It's not guaranteed, but that he could be
could be
released.
big man.
Yeah. I mean, what you think about bringing Mac back in the silver and black? I mean, we already
Shoot,
know, bro.
for as
We
much
for
as
it.
he got paid, I'll take him back. And
I
for him
wonder
to
what he would
hey,
be
I would
wanting.
be down for him to retire Raider. Shoot.
I wonder what he would be wanting. That's my thing. Shout out to Demenes. Patrick Graham is the defensive coach for the Senior Bowl. He's going. Oh, he's the defensive coach. My bad. I think I said head coach. But thank you. Patrick Graham's the defensive coach for the Senior Bowl. He's going to get a good look at the potential draft picks, and that's why I'm excited, Demenes, because for me, like, there's no really excuse for you to not know which guys you want. Go tell Ziegler, hey, take a look at this guy. I think I could do something with this guy on our defense. I could plug him in someplace on our defense. Like you are practicing with these guys. You are coaching these guys. You're getting if anything, you're getting a better evaluation than probably the scouting team. So there should
Yeah.
be no excuse to why you don't, you're not hitting up Ziegler and like, hey, take a look at this guy in the third round or take a look at this guy in the fourth round. There should be no excuse why we can't hit in the later rounds. And there should be
That's
no
fair.
reason that Patrick Graham does not have his handprint on some of the guys that we draft for the defense. Teddy says Jimmy Garoppolo isn't a long-term fix though, and that's why I like me personally, I want to stick with Stidham because with Brady, I mean, here's the thing. If we get Brady, it's like you said, Nate, we will be in win now situation. We will be in a position that we can win possibly our division. We can we will be in a position that we're showing, hey, we want to go win a Super Bowl. I like that. But the thing is, you're only going to get Brady for a year, maybe 2. And then if you go get Jimmy G, it's like Teddy said, he's not a long-term fix. I believe that he was not a long-term fix. You still got to go draft your quarterback.
Yeah, you're
But
drafting
you
your
also got
quarterback
to
with any
show Mark,
quarterback you
and this
draft.
is coming from McDaniel's standpoint. You also got to show Mark Davis's, like Mark Davis, Like, hey, we are taking this team to the playoffs. Little by little, we're taking this team to the playoffs. You're not gonna have Brady for long term, and you likely not gonna have Jimmy Garoppolo long term. So when they bounce, who's your quarterback? Because if it's Stidham, why not just
Exactly.
have Stidham now if you're gonna do that? So if you do sign Jimmy Garoppolo, or you do go sign Tom Brady, or hell, if you sign any quarterback, really, what you're telling us is that Jared Stidham's not a long-term fit either. Because if you were to even put him in, say those guys bounce after 2-3 years, and you put Stidham in after they bounce, then what the hell is the point of signing those guys in the anyway? Now, I think we would probably not look at that conversation if Brady comes and we win a Super Bowl. We wouldn't look at that conversation because then Mark Davis is like, hey, you guys got me a ring. Do what you guys are doing. Go get your guys' quarterback. If you want to start Stidham, go start Stidham. You want to go get Jimmy G now, you go do it. Teddy, I can do that. Give me 1 second to do that.
Huh.
It was, you know what's funny? We say Garoppolo. I remember when people were saying his name, they're like Garoppolo. I don't know
I
why
I
that's funny to
love
me.
I love Garrett's name. He said Jimmy Opolo. It's
Oh,
so
Jimmy
perfect.
Garoppolo, bro.
It's,
So
it's
Jimmy
so perfect.
Garoppolo's time with the Niners. Hold on, I'm gonna have to do some little math here real quick. I was not prepared to bring up his numbers, but I want to. Well, we could do this for with his career with the Patriots and the Niners. Jimmy Garoppolo has a 67.6 completion percentage, 14,289 yards. He has 87 touchdown passes with 42 interceptions and has a quarterback rating of 99.6 for his career. With the Niners, with the Patriots, he had 5 touchdown passes with no interceptions under Josh McDaniels and had passed over 600 yards. With the Patriots, his best season statistic wise was in 2019 when he passed for 3,978 yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and had a quarterback rating of 102. Before getting injured, this season, he had 67.2 completion percentage, 2,437 yards, 16 touchdowns with 4 interceptions, and 103 quarterback rating. That's his stats um, with his career and with the a little bit with the Niners. Um, I wanted to talk about a quarterback in the draft. CJ Stroud announced his that he is declaring for the NFL draft. He's not going back to Ohio State. He's looking like he's going to be a top 5 pick. If he falls out of the top 5, there's a lot of mock drafts I see out there that he falls to the Raiders at 7. Nate, what are you doing at number 7 if Stroud is on the board? Not even just with Jalen Carter. Like, let's just say you know our need. Do you take the quarterback of the future at 7?
Man, it's like it's like, do you want a need that we need now, or do you pick up a possible 10-plus year need? I mean, shoot. I would have to say if CJ Stroud and Carter is there, I'm taking uh Carter and
Let me say this, Nate. Let's say we get Deron Payne in the free agency. Let's just say hypothetically. Let's say Ziegler goes out, gets a defensive tackle in free agency, whether it's Deron Payne or somebody that
Deron
can fill
Payne.
yeah,
Mm,
Deron Payne from the Commanders, top
uh-huh.
rated DT going into free agency. Let's say he gets him. Are you still going to get Jalen Carter at
Man,
number
would
7?
that be a stacked D line though?
It would. But let's say you got Stroud on the board
Yeah,
too. Let's say you got Stroud on the board. You got Stroud and you got Carter
and he's
or
like a
any other guys that we can mention. Miles Murphy, other guys. Do you go quarterback at number 7? Like, let's say not even Stroud. Let's just say position wise. Let's say position wise. I'll make it easier. Position wise, are
quarterback.
you going quarterback or are you going defense?
Um, maybe if we've already. had, yeah, I feel like if we've already gotten that Deron Payne like inside defensive guy, I feel like we would have to just go quarterback. I feel like it was either one or the other, and you make that decision in the free agency, it would just make it easier for the draft to just make your mind and just go quarterback.
I like that. And the thing is, I'm kind of starting to lean towards quarterback more. Here's
Cause
why.
like that's only if we get somebody
Yeah,
like
no, here's why.
good.
And let me read this comment real quick. Shout out to Gio. It's because the Niners hire good head coaches and they draft well. And when you have the same head coach and system, guys grow within, and it's easier to identify talent that fits the scheme. That is facts. Teddy says, "Here's is why I say Stidham isn't the plan. Las Vegas has a brand new stadium, and the product on the field doesn't match to expense paid for the stadium." And this is true. I mean, the thing is, Mark Davis talked about it's embarrassing that the fans are not showing up. Well, fans are not going to show up to a 2-7 team. Fans are not going to show up to a 6-11 team. The product on the field, like people are not going to be spending close to $2,000 to go see a shit of a team. They're not. So I can understand where still from a business standpoint won't fit because he won't sell you tickets and Brady will. But I think for what's best for the team and for you to build that defense and build that offensive line, you got to go cheaper. I'll Demenis will answer that question after I say this real quick. I'm leaning more in the draft, Nate, that we go get quarterback. Here's why. We don't want to be picking in the top 10 next season, right? Like,
Yeah.
hypothetically speaking, as a Raider fan, you do not want to be in the top 10. Even as the Raiders, Ziegler, you do not want to be picking in the top 10. If you're picking the top 10 in 2024, yeah, you got to get a quarterback. But we don't want to be picking in the top 10. You're not going to get Caleb Williams next season. You're not going to get any of the top quarterbacks in the draft next season if we're hypothetically saying the Raiders are going to have a good season. So I was thinking maybe you got to go get a CJ Stroud. Maybe you got to take a chance on a Will Levis. Or but now if those guys, I'm saying now if those guys are off the board, then for me, you go defense because I think the other guys
Yeah.
like Hendon Hooker, Anthony Richard, I think they fall maybe into the second, maybe third round. But if you want to go get a Will Levis and a CJ Stroud, and either of those two guys are on the board at 7, you draft them.
Yeah.
Because
This mock
hypothetically
draft is gonna be
speaking,
fun.
you don't want to be picking at 7 next season. You don't want to be picking at 5th, 4th overall next season. You do not want to be in the top 10 picking next season.
Unless you tank on purpose. No, I'm just
Yeah,
playing.
unless you're taking on purpose.
That would be a W.
Like that's so I'm on. You know what? If like I said, if they pick a quarterback, I'm cool with it. If they go defense, I'm cool with it. As long as they address a need at the 7th position and it is not a reach.
And as
If it's a
long as
guy
they
that I've never heard before or I predicted to go in the 2nd round, I'm going to be like Ziegler. What the hell are you doing?
as long as
Unless you know
they
something I'm not. I don't know, but
grab the needed pieces for the pieces that we need on the team, like as long as they take care of that and make sure that those guys have a good future or have had a good past or great past, I'm cool with it.
yeah. Demenis asks, "What are you guys' thoughts on Chase Garbers?" Now, for the like
Trade him for Nathan Peterman.
little, little sample we seen, like I mean, bro, little. I mean, we seen a lot more in the 4th preseason game that we had. With the little stuff I seen in the preseason, I like that he can get out of the pocket. He's kind of like he reminds me of Stidham. The only problem is I think he doesn't trust his arm. I'll say that. He doesn't trust his arm. Like there's times he had and the thing is he's shown that he's had a good arm, but for me there's times like in the preseason he forced some passes and then there's times that he just did not let plays develop where he took now They were, positive gains when he ran, but for me, it's like the play never developed unless that's a play call, like a quarterback draw, unless that's a play call. But there was times where it's like it was a passing play, like it was a clear cut passing play, and he just never let the play develop. He just took off running, and it's like I'm okay with that. But let's say, I mean, you can't do that with Devontae. You can't do that with Renfro. Renfro and Adams, those are guys that you need to let the play develop because they are such shifty route runners that they can get open and they will get open. That you need to let the play develop.
Yeah.
So, but now he is a young guy. I believe he was an undrafted rookie coming out of Cal last season, Jimenez, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's a really, really young guy. Who's to say Josh McDaniels can't groom him? And who's to say that, Jared Stidham or even Tom Brady, who, will take him under his wing, teach him Josh McDaniels' system, have a full offseason as you'll be the number 3 quarterback. Or if Stidham starts, you're the backup quarterback behind our rookie. That's my take on it, Domenis. But I still think you go get it. You got to draft a quarterback. Unless Ziegler and McDaniel see something in Chase Garbers, we don't. Then he's the backup the rest of the season, and maybe they groom him to be the franchise for the future. But for me, I feel like he just gives up on the play too quickly when it's a passing play. I'll say that. And like I said, it could hurt you, but it could work for you, but sometimes it could hurt you. Maybe you get a 10, you get a first down, but let's say you possibly could have got a touchdown. That's where I'm at. I just don't want him to give up on the play too quickly. That's my only knock on him. But I want to see more. I may need to watch some film when he was at Cal, Jimenez. If you can, bro, hit us up on IG. If you could find some any film on him, I'll do my research too on Chase Garbers. Maybe I could get maybe a more in-depth look at Chase Garbers rather than just really going off the preseason that we watched. But thank you, Demonis, for bringing his name up because, dude, I forgot he was even on our team for a sec. Teddy said, you said it yourself. The Raiders don't have home field advantage anymore, and they need that back. And yeah, and Teddy, I remember saying that. And the thing is that why Brady would come here? That's the thing we have to ask ourselves too. Is Brady coming here only and like I'm saying from a Mark Davis standpoint, I'm only going to get Brady because I want him to sell tickets. I want him to bring Raiders fans here. I want him to give us that home field advantage because you do got to get that back. You got to somehow get Raider fans in the building at Allegiant Stadium because whether we sucked, I know we sucked in Oakland, but you cannot tell me that the fans did not play a part in some of the times that they won, especially in that 2016 season. Tell me this, Nate. If the Raiders were to host a playoff game in 2016, do they lose that game?
Wait, what game?
I'm saying in 2016, when the hype was real, if the Raiders, because we're talking about home field advantage right now, like the way the fans were really like a home field advantage for Raiders. If the Raiders hosted a playoff game in 2016, like a home playoff game, let's say Carr did not get injured, and they host a playoff game, bro, is the Raiders getting beaten in Oakland during the playoffs? Knowing how our fan base is?
No, if Carr never got injured and our stadium was like that, breaking records, no.
Like, and the thing is, I say this because we essentially had a playoff game in Allegiant Stadium last season against the Chargers. I would say we kind of had a home field advantage. Because there was still hella Chargers fans. Bro, I thought there was only two Chargers fans, which was our Theo Teddy, which is our cousin Teddy's father, and then I thought one of Teddy's friends.
What do you think what will happen? Will we lose more fans or gain more fans with Tom Brady?
It depends what's going on. Like, if we're losing games, we're not losing fans, but fans are not they're not going to show up.
Like after preseason ends, would we have lost? I don't know. I feel like
I would say this. I would say this.
there's gonna be a
The
lot of
fans will.
hype.
I feel like it will be like kind of a replica of this season, like the start of the season. Fans will
Yeah.
show up, but the minute you go on like a losing streak, or you start like 2-5, you start 2-5, 2-6,
Mhm.
bro. Raider fans are gonna be like, we're not gonna see this shit anymore.
Yeah.
We're not pay $1,500, $2,000 to go see the Raiders shit the bed.
Yeah.
Like we're tired. Like we as a fan base are tired. Like people want to talk about stability with Carr and the organization, bro. The fan base is tired of the stability that we would make the playoffs twice in 20 years, and we can't be consistent off that. We made the playoffs in 2016, and you not only shit the bed in 2017, you go on a full rebuild 2 years after you made the playoffs.
That's
And
pretty
then you
true.
make the playoffs last season. And what does Josh McDaniels have to show for that is a 6-11 record. Like we go backwards instead of progressing after a playoff appearance. Where you have teams like the Bills. Hell, you had teams like the Niners. You had the you have the Ravens. You have, I mean, the only other teams I could think is the Jaguars and the Browns. But the Browns and the Jaguars have been the top like laughing stock in the NFL with the Raiders. We don't want to be like them. The
Yeah,
Bills
no.
made it back to the playoffs, and they didn't stop there. They progressed. The Chiefs made it back to the playoffs, and they did not stop there. They progressed. Why are the Raiders any different? And for
Like,
me, it
yeah.
starts with Mark Davis. It starts with Mark Davis. What are you
I
gonna
don't
say? Go
I don't
ahead.
want to be in conversations where like them and the Raiders. Oh yeah, let's go. The Raiders are gonna get blown out. No, I want to go to. I even want to hear conversations where we go to the playoffs and they're like, you know what, Raiders that might have a chance here in the playoffs. That's what I want to hear. Like
Yeah.
I want to hear that for the first time.
Me too. Giovanni says you talking about the draft. Gio says we usually do hit in the mid and late rounds. That is facts. And it's the early rounds we historically fuck up. Like I said, the 2014 draft was probably to me the best draft we had like early in the rounds in a long, long time. You get Khalil Mack and you get Derek Carr as your franchise quarterback, and then you get Khalil Mack as your franchise basically defender on the defense side that you could build around. I think where Mark Davis fucked up was firing Jack Del Rio. That's where you fucked up, and you brought in John Gruden. Not saying that John Gruden didn't have a plan in place because it seemed that he was progressing before shit hit the fan with his emails. But why would you do that? Like, because Jack Del Rio knew. I think Jack Del Rio would have find any way to keep Mac, even given the contract that he gave, that him and McKenzie gave to Carr at the end of the 2016 season. He would have done anything to keep Mac here because he knew he tweeted it. He said, "You cannot let Mac leave that building without a deal. You got to find every way, shape, or form to sign that guy to a deal." He knew how valuable Mac was. So that was the only time I think they hit. Hopefully, Gio, though, Ziegler can hit on these early rounds because I'm with you, Gio. I am tired of us picking in the first round. Like, why the fuck do we even got a first round pick? We're just going to pick someone that's a bust. You know, you're muted, Nate. Nate, you're muted, brother.
What would be more happier, us going to the playoffs with Brady or having our first round pick be successful?
Bro, you stupid, bro.
Like that's how sad this is. Like that's what's tough.
Bro, we be like, bro, we got a first round pick that's actually doing something. Oh my gosh.
For real,
No,
bro.
and
That
Gia, I'll say this, and that's what worries me about drafting the quarterback, right? Is because we historically fuck up. Let's imagine we get CJ Stroud and he's the only quarterback out of the draft that's a bust. Like, I'm not trying to speak that into existence, but knowing us, bro, like that's the type of
no,
shit we do to ourselves. Like we
that's just
believe
tough.
in the hype on the player, but we don't actually do our homework on that player. We just believe in the hype.
Because we're Raider fans, you know. After a win, we go like, oh my gosh, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Quarterback Sam Darnold, mobile, nice touch, $30 million 4 years. I mean, I think here's the thing. He had a bad situation with the Jets.
I'm good
Shout out
after
to
that.
Berendo Bomber, by the way.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, the Jets, the Jets just freaking destroy that man. I'll say it right now. They coming out of USC, he was a top prospect coming out of the draft. The Jets drafted him in the first round, I believe, and they just did nothing for Sam Darnold. They did nothing. They didn't, not as much as they did for Zach. Now, Zach Wilson, that boy's a bad quarterback. The Jets actually are helping Zach Wilson, and that boy's just, bro, keep
Derek
that man
Carr,
away from the Raiders organization, please. Because you know where I lost all respect from Zach Wilson when on the press conference, when they lost against the Patriots, like 10-9 or something, 10-3 or something like that, when he said that I do not owe the defense an apology. What?
Bro.
He lost me, bro. He lost all respect from me when he said that. Sam Darnold's a different type of guy. I think, he's shown potential, but the thing is, Berendo, Sam Darnold is, again, not a long-term fit with the Raiders. Bridge quarterback, maybe. But he's not that guy that's going to go into – he will get Josh McDaniels fired. I will say that. He will get Josh McDaniels fired. And and I say that because Josh McDaniels, it's either playoffs or you're gone next season in 2023.
Yep. He's getting the
Sam
Derek Carr
Darnold's
treatment.
not getting the Raiders to the playoffs next season.
Yeah, everybody's getting the Derek Carr treatment at this point. I don't care.
I just think,
bad.
Hey, Brendo, I could be wrong. But when I was watching Sam Darnold, even with the Panthers, bro, boy's a turnover machine. And the thing is, he'll have a big play, he'll have a good throw, and then all of a sudden he either fumbles the ball or gets intercepted. And who did we have that was kind of doing that already with us? I'm tired of seeing a quarterback do that. I don't want to see you have a good throw or a good play, and then you just shit the bed.
Who?
I don't want that. Teddy says, don't forget what division y'all are in. It's stacked with good quarterbacks, and they're all young. You need something comparable, or you guys will have a tough time winning for a long time. And that's what I'm thinking too. Nate, I'm thinking like I would say this actually, Teddy. I wouldn't say we need a quarterback to like a Mahomes level or a Herbert level. I would say I won't say that. But you're right on the sense that they're young. I think Mahomes is going to be 27 next season. 27, 28. Mahomes hasn't even hit his prime yet.
Yeah,
Herbert is 25. Broncos are just going to get better. I know people was like, oh, Russell Wilson sucks. Bro, I'm telling you, Nathaniel Hackett was the reason that Russell Wilson was garbage. Because Russell Wilson did not play like the Russell Wilson from Seattle. He didn't take off run. I don't even think I seen Russell take off running a lot.
He only went to run when it was like last seconds.
Yeah, like he didn't take off. For me, Russell wasn't taking what the defense was giving him. Now, next season, Russell shits the bed. Then yeah, Russell's garbage, bro. But for me, it was Nathaniel Hackett that was behind that. Hey, maybe Russell does suck. I don't know. I mean, if you got swept by the Las Vegas Raiders, and it might be you. It might be you, bro.
Yeah. He did beat the Niners though. That's tough.
That is true, Teddy, bro. Y'all lost to Russell Wilson. That's crazy, bro.
But we can't talk.
But the thing is, we can't talk. We're sitting at home on our asses, bro.
Bro. We can't talk.
Yeah, we beat the Broncos, but that don't mean shit because
Happy 1 hour.
At home. Hey, we got moral victory, bro. We got a moral victory. But don't I hear where you're coming from, but I think for me, you have to look at it as let's build a defense that can slow those guys down, not stop them because they're still going to get theirs. Mahomes is still going to have, his probably 3 touchdowns, 300 yards against just because he's that, great of a quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, Herbert, on the other hand, Mahomes is great. Herbert is I don't know where to put him.
He's
I'm
above
gonna be honest.
average.
I don't know where to. Maybe barely above average. Not,
To
and this
me,
isn't
people,
bro. He choked a 27-0 lead.
people put him as top 3. Like I
This is
feel
why,
like he's
this
most
is why,
overrated.
Nate. This is why I say you go get a Deron Payne. You go get maybe a Deion Jones in the linebacking position, or you go in the you go in the secondary. Maybe get a Greedy Williams, get a Jesse Bates, because if you can really solidify that defense,
Jordan Poyer.
boy, you have a defense that can slow down Mahomes. You have a defense that definitely can slow down Herbert. I'm sorry, but shout out to Brian Katu. This is what Herbert is to me.
Ooh, that's
I'm not saying
tough.
that to be, I'm not biased. I'm telling you that is what Herbert is to me.
Mm,
He
that's
has the potential to be great. But how many times is the Chargers going to build around him before they realize, bro, Herbert just can't do it?
that'd be hecka funny if we told that to Theo Teddy.
And this is not coming as a Carr hater, bro. I think Carr, you got us to the playoffs. You won us important games. You are putting up amazing stats, but at the end of the day, you still can't get us to the Super Bowl. And I'm telling you, because, bro, a lot of teams, the difference is, Brian, the Chargers will not give Herbert 9 years. If Herbert does not get it right, he's gone.
Yeah. If they're keeping the head coach, then yeah, Herbert's that's how you know Herbert's job is
Because
getting there.
I will say this also, Nate. The Chargers, the Broncos, and the Raiders, all three of them know you got to beat the Chiefs
Yeah.
in order to win the division.
Hmm. For
The
like the next
Raiders
5 years.
said, bro, Carr's not going to be able to beat the Chiefs. Look what Teddy said. I'm telling you, my dad. Hey, here's why I say
Yeah,
that,
I said
Teddy.
like try to tell that to Theo. Oh,
Hey, I will
Jesus.
say that. Hey, we will for saying that. But the thing is, Herbert is not getting it done. 3 years, he's not getting it done. He's got eliminated by the Raiders. He's choked a 27-0 lead in the playoffs. Like, no, it's just not gonna work. You can't do that.
Yeah,
You know,
he's done a lot what has Carr done? Like he's done a lot of that. And that would suck.
yeah, hold on. Give me a sec here. I need to get back. Okay, let me get back. But yeah, like, you got to build defenses to slow those guys down. And that's where I want to go. I don't really want to go with that, like, oh, let's go get a quarterback to compete with them. Because then if you're going with that, then you're just going to be in shootouts with them and hope to God that you win those shootouts.
Yeah.
No, I want to trust that our defense can make a play against these guys. Berendo says Tom Brady can't take a pass rush. I agree and disagree. His offensive line was terrible this season.
Worse than ours.
Yeah, worse than the Raiders. Very worse than the Raiders. So it may look like he can't take a pass rush this season, but you give him a competent offensive line that holds up, he'll take it. Especially if you got Devontae Adams that we know can get open.
Yeah.
Brando says, this is talking about the Coliseum, about home field advantage, 1983. Raiders, Jim Plunkett, bro, I'm over here spurring my words, had home field advantage at the Coliseum. No one wore another person's jersey. This is what Teddy said also. Yeah, you rarely seen an opponent jersey at the Coliseum. Facts. I remember the only time I seen, and this was crazy. The Coliseum looked like straight up Allegiant Stadium. I went to the Eagles and Raiders game, and bro, it hurts me because this is the game that Nick Foles threw 7 touchdowns against us. I witnessed that shit, bro. I witnessed that shit.
Oof.
bro, it hurt, bro. It hurt. So, like,
That
bro, I'm literally getting emotional because I was so hyped for that game. It hurt me, bro. Bro, the
yeah,
Philly fans,
7 touchdowns.
dude. No, but
Oh,
listen. The Philly fans, bro, they came in deep into the Coliseum. They was not scared, bro. The whole section by their sideline, by the Eagles sideline, when you looked at it, it was like nothing but green.
dang!
I was
And it was
like,
the
bro,
ugly green too.
the Philly fans came in deep in the Coliseum.
It was the ugly green
The
too,
only
huh?
times you've seen the Coliseum get filled with opposing fans, well, for me, it was against the Eagles. That was the only time. Against the Steelers in 2018 and against the Niners. Those were the only times I seen opposing fans in the stadium. That was the only time. But shout out to Brendo. I seen him as a free agent who was available, like the Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. Um, who we talking about, Brendo? Are we talking about Daniel Jones or who we talking about? I'm so far. I was far from the chat. It
I
probably was like
seen
Jimmy
him as a
Garoppolo.
free
Or
agent.
are we saying Daniel
Uh,
Jones is a free agent next
we
season?
were
Because
talking
you are
about
right about that.
Herbert.
I seen him as a free agent who was available, like Giants quarterback Daniel. I don't know who he's talking about. I don't think he's talking about Herbert. I feel like he was talking about. I feel like he was talking about like Garoppolo,
Jimmy Apollo.
Jimmy
Oh,
Garoppolo.
Sam Darnold.
Oh,
Mm.
Sam, Darnold. Okay. Because I was gonna say, Brando, Daniel Jones is gonna be a free agent, but Giants ain't letting him walk.
Yeah,
Until
they're
Herbert.
paying him whatever they need or whatever
Now
that he needs.
Kincaid from Utah. I have not been scouting tight ends. I'll be honest, Brian. I have not been scouting tight ends because I felt like it was not a need,
We
or
got it.
not really a necessity. But with the Foster Moreau talks and the Gronk talks, I may need to look into some tight ends. Cameron Ward, that's a sneaky name. I really do like Cameron Ward in the late rounds. That's why for me, I was liking quarterback in the first round. But like I said, if CJ Stroud or Will Levis, Bryce Young are not there at 7, you go defense because I really believe there's some sneaky guys in the late round. Me personally, I do like Cameron Ward, but I like Jaron Hall just a little bit more. If Jaron Hall is taken, hey, I take a shot on Cameron Ward. Because the thing is, Brian, I look at it like this. I like Cameron Ward's tangibles. He's coming from let me see. I got, his stats here coming from Washington State. I really, I seen a few games last season live of Cameron Ward, and I think there was one like it was a deep, like he has a beautiful deep ball. Pause if necessary, but he has a beautiful deep
You're fine.
ball. In 2022, he had 64.4 completion percentage, 3,231 yards. He had 6.5 average. He had 23 touchdowns with 9 interceptions. His longest pass was 60 yards. In 2021, I think I seen him last season too. He had 4,648 yards passing with 47 touchdown passes, 10 interceptions, had a pass rating of 154.2. His stats look great. I want to watch a little bit more film on him. I just watched really like his highlights, but I want to see what's his cons that he has, what's his weaknesses, things that we should watch out for. I mean, but like I said, it's not like he's going to go in the top rounds. He may, be there in the 5th, 6th round. Maybe we'll see how the draft is going. But I really do like him in the late rounds. I really do. I like him in the late rounds. Nate, on the other hand, probably doesn't know who the hell he is.
No, I just see Ward, and I just see a cornerback from the Niners.
Oh, you see, like the safety, he's like Jimmy Ward. Nah,
Yeah,
bro, nah,
I
bro.
just see
Cameron
Jim.
Ward, bro, quarterback from the Washington State Cougars.
What
Shout
the
out to
hell?
Raider
The
Scorpio,
Washington
bro.
State
It's been a
who?
minute since I seen his name pop up. Been wondering where this man's been. He's been hiding. It's funny because with all this car talk, you think you see Raider Scorpio more. No, he has been hiding in a hole, and I don't know where he's been. But glad you're here. Build the offensive line if they go get TB12 because it's not going to work without giving him protection in the pocket. And I'll say this, Raider Scorpio.
They gonna build it.
That's the thing, Nate. That's the thing. We tend to forget that McDaniels and Ziegler said they are going to address the offensive line. They are going to address the defense. And I feel even with the TB12 signing, they're going to do that. But in other quarterback news, because like I said, I wanted to really keep it on free agency. And other quarterback news, we talked about Aaron Rodgers, we talked about Stidham, we talked about Jimmy G, we talked about Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson. I'm not entertaining
Lamar
that we're going to
Jackson.
get him. I'm entertaining that we need to stop bringing his name up.
Lamar Jackson.
That's what I'm entertaining. Shut up, Nate. We are not talking about Lamar Jackson. Because Lamar Jackson,
only in Madden.
Hey, if there was no salary cap and this was Madden 23, hell yeah, we're getting Lamar Jackson. We're not getting Lamar Jackson, guys. Lamar Jackson wants at least like $250 million. He wants an arm. He wants a leg. He wants the keys to Allegiant Stadium. He wants ownership of the Raiders. Bro, he wants everything. You're going to have to give up everything. On top of that, like, then you're not going to have no money. We really going to complain about this defense and offensive line.
For real, for real.
So can we stop talking about Lamar Jackson?
He's more injury prone than any. He's prone than, I don't know, second most. And then Jimmy G is like first, probably. I don't
know. Let me see real quick. Hold on. I want to talk about. So let's go to the defense side of the ball. We talked about quarterbacks. Let's go to the defense side of the ball. Let's talk about Daron Payne. Now, Daron Payne, we talked about him a little bit, but to really just give a real in-depth piece. Also, real quick, shout out to everyone that's still in. I know we are an hour in deep. Shout out to the 8 people. Guys, please share the link around. Let's get as many, Raider fans in here. Let's, talk about the free agency. I want to hear as many people's opinions just to give different people's thoughts. Give maybe some different players that I may not hear about that people could talk about. And if this is your first time coming into the stream, please think about hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to push on the road for 500 and trying to hit that like button, hit the bell so you guys can be notified when your primos go live and we could talk that Raiders football. But real quick, going back to the free agency, you have also you have Daron Payne, 25 years old, looking around, probably going to cost you $13 million a year. He had his sacks on the. Let me bring up his stats real quick.
Stats and
he
sacks.
He had a pretty good 2022
outing. Hey, I got a good question for you. Who's looking worse, Russell or Lamar? Right now.
I want to say Russell Wilson because Lamar Jackson's been injured. We don't know what he would have done the entire season. And the thing is, they still got to the playoffs. Now, of course, it wasn't because of Lamar Jackson, but if they got to the playoffs without Lamar Jackson, imagine what they could have probably did with Lamar Jackson.
When he was playing, they were like top 3 in the power rankings. In the beginning of the season, they were like favorites.
That's true. I mean, but still, not paying that much money for him. I don't.
No, I was just thinking about that.
But yeah. But yeah, to go with the defense, real quick. So Daron Payne, his stats for the season, according to PFF, solo tackles, he had 40 solo tackles, 7 assist tackles. He had 12 sacks. Let's look at the Raiders real quick. Let's bring up the Raiders players real quick. Daron Payne has 12 sacks. I'm bringing up every single person's sacks.
Shoot.
12 sacks on the season.
That's more than 3 guys on our team.
I was tied for 4th in the NFL. For our Las Vegas Raiders, on the defense side of the ball, we know Max Crosby was the leader. He had 12.5 sacks. Under him was Chandler Jones at 4.5. Imagine you have 12 additional sacks coming with Daron Payne, adding with Max Crosby. That's already huge improvement. Huge improvement.
He had more sacks than the rest, like D-line apart from Crosby combined, huh?
Bro, yes. Because after that, it's like one sack,
so
half a sack. Like now, There's another guy, Javon Hargrave. He had 11 sacks on the season, 23 assisted, and he has 60 combined tackles. Like I said, I want to really just go more in depth with them. I like Javon Hargrave. Um, the thing is, here's why I like Deron Payne a little bit more. I like Deron Payne a little bit more. When he can't get to the quarterback, he then uses his eyes and tries to, he had a lot of
He
batted down
uses his
passes last
ojos.
season. Like, bro, Deron Payne is a must. He is priority. But if somehow Deron Payne doesn't fall through, I would take a chance on Javon Hargrave. What do you think about? I mean, like I said, 60 combined tackles, 23. He's really good in the pass. I don't know how he is in the run. Like I said, I gotta watch more film on Javon Hargrave from last season, and really do my homework on more of these players rather than the top players, because we're not gonna get every top player.
Yeah.
But I do like Javon Hargrave. I like so far what I am seeing, what I'm reading about him, the little that I've seen out of him. I mean, what do you think about Javon Hargrave?
I'd see him as that guy that we would just push towards if we can't get, Payne. And that just brings up another question. If you get Hargrave, do you now get a quarterback or do you get what's his name? Shoot. I forgot.
And it's crazy
I'm bad.
because I'm reading on PFF. PFF actually has Javon Hargrave as the top rated defensive tackle going into the free agent period. He's over Deron Payne.
I'm so stupid. Like I already forgot about the draft. What's the guy's name?
Deron who? Javon Hargrave
Guy.
or Deron Payne?
No, the guy in the draft.
Oh, Jalen Carter?
Yeah. If you get Hargrave, now do you grab Carter
Oh, Carter.
and try to
The
mix
thing is,
those up?
the thing is,
Or
I
do you
still
still go
think
QB?
fuck, bro. Like, it depends if Stroud or Levis is there. That's
Yeah.
what I'm like. It depends if they're there. If they're there, I'm sorry, Nate. You gotta pick one of them. You gotta pick one of them because I know, like, guys, and the thing is, this is coming from a person that I want defense first round. I want defense first round, but let's be honest, we don't want to be picking at number 7 again. So if Stroud and Levis fall to you at 7,
That's a
like,
dub.
then you gotta go get your quarterback of the future. You gotta go take a chance. But if they don't, hey, then you go defense, and then you get, like I said, a Cameron Ward late in the draft, or my guy from BYU, Jaron Hall. I like Jaron.
BYU.
I'm telling you guys, like, I like Jaron Hall, and if he sucks, you did not hear shit from me. just kidding, guys. I'll eat my own words. But Raider Scorpio says, I say give Stidham a chance and fix the defense and O-line with the extra cash. I'm done with the Raiders putting a Band-Aid on. Go fix the team so we can be competitive next year and for the future. And Raider Scorpio, I'm starting to lean towards that a little bit more, because the thing is, I like less money you're using for the offense means more money you can use to the defense or the offensive line. Like, you're putting that needs. Like we talked about earlier in the show. When was when was the last time this defense really got help? Like to put it in perspective, what Ziegler did in the offseason with the offense. When was the last time someone did that with the Raiders defense? Like, went all out and try to get as many pieces on the defensive side. Like, I don't remember last time someone did that. Maybe 2015 when we got leading up to 2016, we got Sean Smith, we got Reggie Nelson, we got Bruce Irvin. The defense was okay, but the thing is, those signings didn't really, besides Bruce Irving, but Sean Smith, he was okay, but in the long run, garbage. Reggie Nelson was up there in age. He retired. Bruce Irvin, once the Mac trade happened, Bruce Irvin was a shell of himself.
What?
I'm talking about, when did they actually, like, build this defense not only for that following season, but they built it for the future, that it can be consistent.
We didn't realize Stidham was gonna make this hard on us.
I'll be honest, Nate. He did, but he didn't, because I feel like
'Cause,
you
like,
could maybe get something better out of, like, other than Stidham, but because the thing is, it is true. I mean, he did make it kind of hard, because, like, what if he has something in himself and all he needs is that one shot? Like I said earlier in the show, what if all he needs is that one shot? Raider Scorpio says if they get TB12, that's just a fix. That's a band-aid for maybe like a year or two. Then what's next? And Raider Scorpio, we talked about that earlier
that's
in
what the
the draft,
drafted
or
quarterback
earlier in
can
the
do.
draft, earlier in the show. Yeah, we don't want that. We want the Raiders to think about long term. That's why we said if Stroud or Levis is there at 7, you take him, or you take one of them, because they will be a long term answer, quote unquote, because we won't know. But hopefully they would be a long term answer going forward. Thank you, Dominic. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you. Raiders Corbett says Russell looks worse because he's been healthy. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Shout out to Brian. We're also looking good in salary cap, not including the release of Carr. After the Carr trade or release, that will put us in the top 5 with cap space and should go all in on defense and offensive line. Brian, that's where I'm at. And I think we have 30, because I see Raider Scorpio. You asked down here. You said what was the salary cap right now? I believe we're at 34 million. I'm gonna double check. I believe. Let me see. Salary cap. I believe they're at 34 million right now. Let me see.
And he would save up like what, 20 something?
Let me see. I'm only getting their cap. I'm only getting players they're playing. I'm not getting like an actual like number. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna see if I know it's 34 though. Oh, here we go. Okay, 2023. Yeah, the Las Vegas Raiders are at 9. They're gonna have caps and total cap space. They're gonna have 20 million dollars. I thought they're at 34 though right now. I thought they're at 34. But I know they will be in the top 5 with the Carr release. I believe they're going to be in the 60 range, in $60 million,
Yeah.
65, $66 million. That's going to be given to them in 2023. So yeah, I mean, even though I'm pretty sure, I feel like that number is wrong. This is from Spot Track. I don't know how accurate this is. Um, I'm really positive it's 34 million we have right now, but I know we're gonna have like close to 65, 66 million dollars after the Carr trade and release. Let me see.
I'll be back. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Who's the top offensive tackle in free agency? Right now, Raider Scorpio is saying offensive tackle Mike McGlinchey from the San Francisco 49ers. The report here says McGlinchey hasn't quite lived up to his top 10 pick billing coming out of the 2018 NFL draft, but he is a quality starter at the right tackle position who has returned to form after suffering a torn quadricep in 2021. He's dealt with various minor injuries over the years, but has done well to avoid missing with much time overall. McGlinchey is a perfect fit in Kyle Shanahan. He fits in a wide zone rushing attack. He had, with his 85.4 run blocking grade since entering the league, a top 10 mark amongst tackles. He does still have room to improve, though, as a pass protector, but notably dropped his presser percentage from 6.1% to 5.1% over the past 2 seasons. Um, and then it's Orlando Brown Jr. from the Chiefs. There was after he was having some, I believe he was having a holdout, and they didn't turn it. They didn't turn it into a deal at all. But he's still, on. Oh no, this was prior to his previous regime, with his team, and then he went to the Chiefs. He did ball out with the Chiefs. He has an 88.7 pass blocking grade ranked third best amongst the left tackle position. But like I said, that's a like it says here, that's a left tackle. I would if Mike McGlinchey somehow does go on the board in a free agency and the Niners do not resign him, I would take a chance on him. The pass protection is really what's gonna hurt. He is not. He's good in the run blocking and the wide zone rushing attack. I want to see how he does. He fit in the power run? I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But
Yeah.
the passing pressure, I mean, it's lowered. But if that's an issue with him, I want our pass protection with our right tackle to be good. Raider Geo, what's good, man? Raider Scorpio, thank you for the love. Berendo says, "What if Bryce Young falls to at 7 to the Raiders?" I think Bryce Young is too. I don't know. Like, cause I don't. For me, it's his build. Like he can escape the pocket. He is accurate with the football. Um, I just think with the NFL, like you got some big boys coming at you, bro. That boy can. Someone will grab him with one hand, and he's getting thrown down to the ground.
He's like Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he is getting unless he's really like. I mean, he's really shifty and he has the agility, to really escape the pocket, escape tackles. But bro, if someone gets a hand, this man is small. He is small and he is not big either. He will get thrown down to the ground. Bro, imagine Brendo. Imagine Chris Jones coming after
Oh my
Bryce Young.
gosh.
Oh my goodness. Not
Oh,
because the thing is
I would pray for him.
bro, the thing is Chris Jones is one of the top defensive tackles in the league. You may build that offensive line, but he's still gonna get hits. You have him coming at Bryce Young, dude. Oh,
Ripperoni, bro.
that is scary, man. That is scary.
I'm scared for
Lamonte
that. I'm
Roper,
scared for him.
bro. I'm not against this. I'm not against this,
Keep
Lamonte
Stidham.
Roper. I was thinking of that too. You keep Stidham and you draft a rookie quarterback.
I have no idea who Mr. Richardson
Anthony
is.
Richardson's from Florida State. I think he would go in the third round, maybe second round. Hopefully he doesn't. But if he falls to the third round, I think that's where the Raiders get him is in the third round. But if he somehow gets drafted in the second round, then damn, like I don't know because I wouldn't want the Raiders to, like I said, I don't want them to reach. Like I think Anthony Richardson will still fall into the third round, maybe just because of the other prospects out there. But that's a big if because I feel like second, third round he can go. Raider Scorpio says, I'd rather them draft a quarterback in the late rounds and draft the best offensive tackle or any defensive player for the 7th overall pick. That's where I'm at. I mean, the best offensive tackle, I think is, I don't know how to say his name. It's like Polinsky or something, Polinsky or something like that. I don't know. I forgot where he's coming out of. Shit, bro. I think it's. Let me see. Me and Kane Town were talking about him the other day.
He's
Was it
6'4"?
from Northwestern? Yeah, Peter. I said Peter Skron. I
Hey,
was
yo.
Skoronsky. Peter Skoronsky from Northwestern. He is the top rated tackle in this year's draft. Top prospect. That is, I feel like if you're going to go offensive tackle, that is the guy you get. That's your future right tackle. I don't like though that people sleeping on Mumford though. I like Mumford. I feel like Mumford just needs a chance. I think he could be our offensive tackle of the future. I think he just needs more playing time. What he needs to work on is the run blocking. The thing is, he's shown flashes in the run blocking last season, but he still needed some work. And then, of course, in the pass blocking game, but I feel he has more upside in the pass blocking than the run blocking.
I like to keep Mumford.
Yeah. Lamonte Rover says, draft Christian Gonzalez, bro. Fire corner. Pairing him up with Rock Sin, I would love to see that. All the team. I would love to see that. Or Miles Murphy or Jordan Addison. Miles Murphy and Christian Gonzalez, I would say those are the two guys I'm really on. Jordan Addison, Lamonte, this is the first time I'm hearing about Addison, and I'm saying I may be sleeping under a rock. Please, like Go to this is our IG guys down in the bottom right corner. Please DM us any got film you guys got. Like we welcome it all. Just it helps us get a look at guys and see who really can we can come on and talk about on on our lives. We can even show some film, maybe some film work for you guys. But yeah, I would definitely love. I would not hate the idea of drafting a Christian Gonzalez or Miles Murphy at 7. I would not be against that. Raider Scorpio says taking a late round quarterback could be good. They always got a chip on their shoulder and got something to prove. Just look at Purdy. Raider Scorpio, I know Purdy is looking good. I like your take because I'm not against that. But I'm starting to lean towards more Purdy's just in a good situation.
Yeah, he's
He
too.
doesn't have to do a lot. He has a really good offense, has Christian McCaffrey behind him, has the number one defense defending. I feel like he's just in a really, really good situation. I mean, what's your take, Nate, about that? Like you
Um,
making my voice. You're not cutting me off at all, bro. You making me go. You making me run with it. It takes some of the spotlight, bro.
taking a late rounder. Well, I just don't know about late round quarterbacks. That's all. Like I only know some of the people that we mentioned
You only
like
know the
8 times
top
this
three,
stream.
bro. You need to do your homework on the
Yeah,
late, like Anthony Richardson, Hendon Hooker, Jaron Hall, the other Cameron Ward. Those are the four quarterbacks I know, like late that might go in the late rounds. I know there's a other couple, bro. Stenson
couple.
Bennett, stay away from that man. That
Stenson
man
Bennett
is 46 years old. Okay,
in the
do
draft.
not draft him. No,
Wait,
seriously, he's like 26. He's gonna be 26 next season.
uh,
Bro, 26 years old, bro.
26 years. What has he been doing?
He got injured, I believe, in his junior year. I think he got injured twice, which
Uh,
set him back. And he didn't. Of course, if he went into the NFL draft with his injuries, his draft stock would plummeted. So he stayed in college to try to get his draft stock up. But dude, you're 26 years old. You're older than maybe half of the AFC quarterbacks.
they're balling out.
Yeah. What is your idea? I will say this, Nate. Do you build our defense, like I would say specifically our secondary? Do you build that secondary in the draft or in like getting a quarterback one? Do you go get a Christian Gonzalez or do you go look for a cornerback one in free agency?
I say,
Maybe a Marcus Peters or somebody.
I
Or Jalen
say,
Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey has been a name popping
I
up.
say, bro. I say whatever we can do. I say upgrade them in both. Like spend your whole off season on the defense, like with cornerbacks, like defensive linebackers, bro. Build, bro. Take is all like. Don't limit yourself on um anything right now because time is ticking, and we have a good offense now. Well, apart from the offensive line, but
You're right. You're right.
I feel
Shout out.
like yeah,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like this off season is our chance to just revoke our like holes that we have to fill. And I
Oh
say
yeah,
just
definitely, definitely. Shout out to Raider Scorpio. Some quarterbacks that get picked in the top 10 think that they're the shit and don't play hard enough or don't get nothing to prove after they get paid big money. Look at Johnny Manziel. That's my biggest one, bro. Jamarcus Russell. Like I think Raider Scorpio probably has some PTSD from drafting Jamarcus Russell, and I think this is right. I think quarterbacks like this is where scouting really comes. This is where like the meetings really do come into to play. Like Ziegler needs to really do his homework. If you're thinking about getting a Stroud, because apparently the reports are coming out that Ziegler really loves CJ Stroud. And Josh McDaniels really loves Bryce Young. The more likely scenario is that CJ Stroud is gonna fall before Bryce Young does. I think Bryce Young is going to the Texans. I don't think he's falling to the Raiders. CJ Stroud is more likely to fall to the Raiders.
Yeah.
With that being said, is CJ Stroud going to come in and work hard and be a top 10 pick, or is he just going to be another bust that thinks he's the shit? And that's just going to be in his head.
I would hope it's the first one.
And that's what we all hope for. But we've been in this position where we drafted guys and we cut them, we trade them because they just don't work out. And then they go somewhere else and they ball out. Now, could it be the organization? Who knows? Could it be them? And they just like, oh shit, I got traded. I got released. I need to get my shit together. And then they get their shit together. It's like, where the hell was that when you were with the Raiders?
For real.
Gonna answer these last few comments and then we'll get out of here. I gotta get at least get some type of sleep. I've been working hard today. Brian says, what team do you think is dealing for Carr, and what do you think we could receive in return? Also, I read an article that might be an additional player to be traded. I read an article that there might be an additional player to be traded with Carr for more draft capital. I would love to read that article, Brian. Like I said, hit us up on our IG. Please send that article on our IG in the bottom right corner. I would love to read that article. But to answer your question, Brian, I think the Jets. And I think when it comes to the Jets, I think they will give up maybe a second. They may give up their second. If not, they're giving up a third. I don't see us getting a first round pick for Derek Carr. I think based off how the 2022 season went, that wrote off any possible first round pick. Now, if a team does offer a first round pick, shit, bro, we gonna steal. We are
Facts.
stealing. But minimum, if I'm the Jets, I'm offering my second round pick. But minimum, like if we're being realistic, I think realistically a third round pick is minimum for what the Jets will give up for Carr. Now that additional player, I mean, I haven't read the article. Like I said, I would love to read it, but I would think, hey, Waller might be that odd man out. Maybe.
Man. Renfro?
But remember what we said. We said this that Josh McDaniels and Ziegler really do like Waller. So it might not be Waller. I mean, other than Waller's the only guy I can see that would go with Carr. Anybody else, I don't know who else will go.
That would suck.
Chandler Jones. I'm just kidding. No, bro. You trade Chandler Jones, bro. You're getting hit with the $30 million dead cap hit, bro. You're not doing that. Brando says Raiders need a big tough center like the Bucks center if we're going to start Brady or Jimmy G. Tell me about Jimmy G. I missed it. I'll summarize it for you, Brando. And the center part, I like Andre James. I think Andre James is. I'm not saying he's a great center, but I feel like he's a good center. He's getting more credit from me than he's probably usually not accustomed to. I think he's held his ground this season. I think really it was the guards for him that, I mean, he had Parham, who was a rookie, next to him, and he had Bars next to him. Like I said, Bars is not a starting left guard in this league for a reason. Like, that's going to hurt for me. That's going to hurt any center. Yeah. I think James is going to coach Parham. You got another season with Parham as your right guard, and then you bring in a solidified left guard. Like I said, we'll likely have more videos to get more in depth on like left guard position, safety position, corner positions. Live is just getting really long, guys. And like I said, I want to talk more in depth, but I'm running on like 2% right now.
2% battery.
Yeah, bro. I'm dying right now. So, I think Andre James will be all right. I will say maybe go get a depth piece. That's for reading my chat. Peace out. I don't know what that means. But to tell you about Jimmy G, Brundo, we basically just said that you're gonna get you'll get Jimmy G on the cheap. You're getting a guy that knows Josh McDaniels' system. Here's why I don't want him. I don't want him because he's coming into a place that doesn't have it perfect like the Niners have it for him. The Niners had it perfect. Now, That's my con side. My con side, it's not like defensive wise. He's gonna have to probably carry the Raiders more than he was accustomed to with the Niners. And then he's also injury prone. You gotta put that man in bubble wrap, like straight up. You gotta put
For real.
that man in bubble wrap because the past 2 seasons can't stay healthy. I don't even think he was healthy for the 2020 season. Um, so you gotta like he has injury problems, But the thing is, the pro is you're bringing in a guy that knows how to win games. He will likely get you to the playoffs. He will win like when you need him to win a game. He probably will win you that game, and it helps that he knows the system. And then on top of that, is when it comes to help, he's getting help on the offense side of the ball. It's the defense. The Niners, he's going from a number one defense that defense is just great over there. And he would possibly be going to a defense in the Raiders that is going to probably be in the middle of the pack. So for me, that's where it's like, I'm 50-50 with Jimmy G, Brando. Like, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm 50-50
What's
with
your
him.
take, Nate, on Jimmy G? I don't know if you had I can't. What was your take on Jimmy Garoppolo? If you were to bring,
Me,
as our friend Garrett says, Jimmy Garoppolo over here.
Jimmy Apollo, yeah, he would probably be my last resort if Brady didn't work, if Stidham didn't work, if I don't know, if we didn't draft a QB, yeah, then I would probably have to go Jimmy G. He's my last resort, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, you're right. Shout out to Raider Scorpio. He said, "Hey, people looked at Brady like a backup quarterback when he took over Bledsoe. Bledsoe never got his job back." And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes the guy just needs a shot. Brian says, "That's for." I think he meant maybe thanks. I don't know. But he said, "Peace out, peace out, Brian. Have a good night. God bless. Thank you for pulling up.
Peace.
I appreciate that." Raider Scorpio says, "I'm out, Primos. Let's hear it one more time. Raiders."
Raiders.
Yeah, bro, we gonna get out of here too, guys. Thank you guys for pulling up. I don't know what Nate's name, or I don't know why he got the name, but
Huh?
Raiders Primos, we are out of here, guys. Guys, on the
Young
way
T.
out, please subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 subs, at least before the season starts again in August. And please hit that like button. Think about it. Hit the bell so you guys could come on when we go live. Be first to see a video when we drop it. Also, please send the link out. Let's get a lot of Raider fans up in here popping in our lives. We love everyone's opinion. We want to hear we don't care if they dislike some players, they like players. We just want to hear their opinion. We want to hear their take on the Raiders. We love talking Raiders football over here at Raiders Primos. That's really what it is about.
Yeah.
It is about talking about Raiders football. Because at the end of the day, we can agree to disagree, but we love one thing, and that is the Raiders. We love the Raiders. So on the way out, send the link, hit the subscribe button, hit the like, and we'll see you guys in the next show.
In the
Y'all have a
next
God bless
one.
night. We out.